It saved my life. And even though you might not be able to see your next step, just taking a step away from the direction you're heading will make a huge difference.
Hey guys, I've got a special one for you today. Today I'm interviewing Amanda from Carnivorous Me. Amanda has been on the carnivore diet for 6 months now and she's reversed her diabetes. She has also lost 80 pounds and she has seen a lot of other health benefits. So without further ado, let's get into the interview. All right. So, Amanda, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to hear about your carnivore journey. Um,
Absolutely.
awesome. Can you start? Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose the carnivore diet.
I am a physical therapist assistant. So I've worked in the healthcare field for about 10 years. And I've kind of lived a little bit of everywhere. I've worked in hospitals and skilled nursing and all that. And what kind of started me on this is when Scott and I, my husband and I, were living in Phoenix, Arizona. We started our own home health business. And it got to the point where I was gaining weight, I was getting sicker. I have autoimmune issues. I have scleroderma, which is my biggest one. I have fibromyalgia and RA. And it got to the point where I couldn't keep seeing patients because I was just having so much pain, my hands, my joints. And then we decided to change our environment. We moved to Washington State and I stopped seeing patients. Things continued the way they were. I kept eating bad. I was pretty much just eating my emotions from just some childhood trauma things. And about 6 months ago, I went to the emergency room and I thought I was going to actually die. Like I legitimately thought I was going to die. And in the hospital there, I realized at one point that I had been being so selfish. I was choosing my current wants over my husband's needs, over my family's needs, and I had become a burden. And I realized just in the hospital there that I didn't actually want to die because I was severely, like, suicidally depressed, that I didn't actually want to die. And that was like my impetus for starting carnivore.
Mm, okay. Wow. It was sort of everything came together at that one moment. It was like, I've got to do something.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I have been overweight from pretty much from the time I was a teenager. So like I'm 33 now. From the time I was 15, 16, I was overweight and then obese and then morbidly obese. It just increased over time. And I just I've tried everything. I've done everything from veganism. Like I have done true veganism. I have done eating only boiled white potatoes for months. The whole 30, I have just tried everything. And my brother actually is who got me started towards carnivore.
Mm,
I'm the only one overweight for two of my three siblings. And he was just doing it to feel better. He lost like 20 pounds, and that's all he really had to lose. And I saw him doing this, and he kept telling me about it. I'm like, okay, fine. I tried it for a few weeks and then failed at it. And then the hospital stay happened. And then that's when I jumped on. So it just, that was just a huge turning point. Everything just kind of did, you're right, came together at that point.
mm. And so at that point, like following that hospital visit, did you just jump in and get started with carnivore, or did you kind of transition through, maybe go keto first?
Oh, no, no. I had cake one day, carnivore the next. I literally both feet in. I decided if you're going to do it, I was just going to do it.
Wow. Okay. So chocolate cake one
Mhm.
day, meat cake the next.
Literally, literally, yes.
Wow. And when you got started, what was the hardest thing about doing carnivore? Especially because
For
you're
me,
basically like you went cold turkey, right?
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was dealing with the emotional eating. Um, Being able to address that hunger here is not the hunger you feel in your body. It is you literally eating the emotions. That was, I think, the biggest thing. However, because it was so fresh in my mind that the whole hospital visit, it
Mm.
was difficult, but that I think really helped me overcome the first few weeks and months was that, even though it was difficult, as I said.
You've obviously you've had benefits other than this, but you've obviously lost a significant amount of weight so far on carnivore, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. 6 months. I actually just weighed myself today. I've lost 80 pounds in 6 months
Oh
so
my,
far.
that's an
Yeah.
impressive amount of weight loss in 6 months. And
Which,
have you noticed? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wondered if you noticed any benefits beyond just the weight loss.
Oh, yes. I have a very unique story in the sense that not only was I overweight and not only do I have autoimmune issues, I was, before we started this, I was 32. I was having to use a walker to get around. I could get through the house okay, but my knees hurt like I was 90 years old. I could not go out of the house without the walker. And I'm talking about it's called a rollator. It has an actual seat on it with brakes and everything.
Oh well.
I couldn't walk to our mailbox. I couldn't do any of that. And pretty much Scott did all the shopping, all the cleaning, all taking care of the dogs. He did literally all the house chores. And I was essentially I was housebound. So the changes are within 4 weeks, I was able to ditch the walker. I was able to start walking as of today, which tomorrow technically is my 6 months. I can walk over 2 miles every day. I can fit into the car seat with the seatbelt on. I can put on my own socks and shoes. I can go up because we live in a three-story house. I can go up to the third floor and back down without any issues. My knees hurt. I had severe rosacea skin issues, which you can see in my original videos. Um, that's probably like 90% better. My joint pain is 80 to 90% better. I'm no longer a type 2 diabetic. My fatty liver is healing. My triglycerides are less than half because they were like 350 or 360 when I started, and they're below 150 now. I mean, the list literally goes on and on and on of the benefits. This is above and beyond just weight loss of what I can do. I actually, this is the biggest thing. I am no longer depressed. I do not have suicidal oh my gosh. I do not have suicidal ideations anymore. I can paddleboard, bike ride. I mean, I just can live life.
It really is amazing, right? Um,
Mhm.
so one of the things that stands out to me about some of the things that you mentioned there is when you said you can put your own shoes and socks on, right? Like
Yeah.
I've been at the point myself where like just bending while I'm sitting down, like bending across myself trying to put my socks on just because I've got the gut there. It just like you kind of holding your breath and it's like it's awful. And something as simple as that improving, it's just like life changing, you know?
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
These are the things, I mean, obviously losing the weight allows this, but this is
Mm,
above and beyond just the like health benefits of being able to move around comfortably in
mm.
your own body. That is, I think, it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, my journey on carnivore has, involved these kind of sudden health realizations and surprises, like realizing that this health problem is suddenly not there anymore. Like, the day that I thought to myself, hang on, my knee doesn't hurt anymore.
Mhm.
Having had arthritis in my knee, and then suddenly I can run. It was just such a strange realization. So, like, of the improvements that you've had, have you kind of noticed that kind of thing, had those kind of realizations like, oh, suddenly I didn't realize this, but I've been putting my socks on for 2 weeks and everything was fine. I didn't really notice.
Every single week, the whole sitting, because it was had gotten so bad that I actually wouldn't sit in the front seat of the car. I sat in the back seat of our car because putting the seatbelt on, the seatbelt would actually like jab into my pelvis so much and bruise me. I sat in the back seat and never wore a seatbelt. Well, we went to play disc golf this past Sunday with my sister and brother-in-law, and I sat in the back seat and didn't even realize it. I put the seatbelt on and clicked it. And I'm like, it's not jabbing me in the hip. Like I can fully fit in this car seat. No, not it was amazing. And it's small things like that every day. I was able to climb up a ladder the other week doing some cleaning the gutters out of the house. It's just like, God, I can't remember the last time I could have climbed up a ladder, and it just did it like that.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, not to belabor the point, but it's just these weird little
Oh yeah.
things that suddenly, oh, my life is just so much easier now. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, just I was able to get up off the ground and I had to get back down to test getting back up a second time because I'm like, did I just do that? Or did that just like happen? And it was just like, wow, when did this happen?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So I kind of describe that little bit like, I've suddenly started oiling my joints where they've been my joints have been dry for months or years, and now suddenly, like
Uh-huh.
all the butter I'm consuming or something, it's oiling my joints. So do you
That's a
still
good way
get
of putting it.
crave do you still get cravings? And how do you deal with them when you do?
Mm, I do when my menstrual cycle starts, but there are hormone fluctuations. And butter. So, like little slices of butter help, or bacon. Scott loves bacon, so we usually always have some bacon in the refrigerator. Eat a bite of it, wait a few minutes, and then come back to it. And then
Hmm.
also at the same time, having a internal conversation. Do I feel hungry here, or is it actually my stomach that I'm feeling the hunger? If it's here, I know I'm not hungry. Like I know I'm not physically hungry. It's just a craving.
Yeah, the butter is a lifesaver, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's actually I've started having quite a large piece of butter every night. I get home from work, I'm just kind of relaxing, chilling out in front of the computer, and I'll have my water with some salt inside and some butter. It's quite nice, quite relaxing. That's my substitute for a beer.
Do you like do you like bite the butter, or you just like put the whole thing in your mouth and call it good?
It's so big that yeah, I need to bite it.
How
Yeah.
funny.
So
Almost like eating
kind
an
of like
apple but made out of butter.
yeah. The thing I'd like it at most too is a Snickers bar because it's got the same kind of texture, right? So it's like a room temperature Snickers bar.
Oh, I'd never
So
thought of that. How funny.
yeah. So
Uh,
I saw recently you made some videos about like Thanksgiving and stuff like that. How do you cope during social gatherings with, dinner with friends and family?
I am very lucky, I have to say, that my family doesn't eat a lot of sugar, thankfully. But my brother does carnivore, my brother-in-law does carnivore, Scott, my husband, does carnivore, and I do carnivore. So that only leaves my sister-in-law, my niece, and my sister as the outside ones. And I just try to, like, when we went, we made sure there was a charcuterie board, tons of delicious cheeses. I always take something I really, really want to eat with me. If I go there and I'm hungry, I know it's just things are going to fall apart. So taking something I want or eating honestly before I go is a good trick. Eat before you go, and then you can maybe nibble on some cheese while you're there,
Mm.
so that it feels like you're partaking, but you're not going to eat the bad stuff.
It's a good strategy. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Loading up before you go on what you know you can eat is definitely
Yes.
a good strategy. Yeah. Okay. So, how would you recommend that people start carnivore? Would you recommend people go to cold turkey like you did?
No. If I had to do it again, I would do it. But no, I think if they can taper into it, they're going to have a lot less issue. On the other side of that, there are the people like me with eating disorders that moderation does not exist. And so, because I've done keto before and I just slipped into the artificial sugars and this and this and this. And so, moderation doesn't work for me. And that's why I did the 2 feet in. So, I think I would recommend keto. But if you know you have that kind of super addictive personality, it's rough, but jumping in, just getting rid of everything is also an option.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, that was when I stopped
Mhm.
smoking, I couldn't taper down. It was either all or nothing. I think there's different kind of things like that for each
Yeah.
person, you know. Yeah. So, is this a lifestyle that you see yourself sticking with for good?
Oh, yes. I will never, ever, ever go back to eating the diet I was eating. It's like you know something and you can't unknow something. So, how could I ever go back there? It's not even a
Hmm.
question of going back there. At some point, maybe we might transition to more ketovore, but I truly doubt it because I've recently had some issues with like sriracha and sriracha and some tamari. And
Mm.
I've had some really bad autoimmune reactions to it.
Mm.
So most likely we'll be at least 95% carnivore for the rest of ever. And Scott loves meats and he doesn't care. He likes easy meat, so he's good with it.
Mm. Nice. And how's the diet been for your pocketbook compared to what you were previously eating?
So much cheaper.
Mm.
Eating out is expensive. Buying fruits and vegetables and letting them go bad, because I know everybody does, and I'm not the only person. None of that happens. We don't end up having to throw things away because we only pull out what we're going to eat. And there's other things I thought about too, not only the cost benefit, but also environmentally. We drive a lot less. We produce probably half, if not a third of the amount of trash we had been. I have to do the dishes in the dishwasher only every 3 days now versus every single night. This is all less waste, less money being spent.
Actually, that's a good point. I never thought about it like that. Like, just the number of times you're washing dishes and stuff is greatly reduced, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so what is your ultimate health goal, and has that changed from when you first started?
It has changed, initially starting the diet, it was like I must lose weight. I just have to lose weight. Forget everything else. It's the weight. And it's morphed into this is about the journey. It's not about the destination. Yes, eventually I do want to get to 150, 130 pounds, whatever I'm supposed to weigh, but it's about improving my health, improving my life, improving my mental health too, because in the journey from A to B is where we see the change. It's not really at the end. And I'm slowly learning that taking all of the bumps and everything is what makes us who we are. And so, yeah, now it's weight, health, really in the mental health, I think are the big things that I really want to focus on.
Mm. Yeah, I find myself also feeling like, it's all about the journey, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just quite happy getting there. I think sometimes
Yeah.
when we focus so much on, like, I've just got to get to this point, and it's all about the weight loss or something like that. I've just got to get to this point. Once you're there, you feel like I'm not okay, well, I'm here, so what's next? So if you can enjoy the
I
journey and avoid getting healthier, then
I took a course called Landmark Forum, and they explained that as chasing the carrot. They always said, imagine there's a stick attached to your back and there's a carrot out front. And this is why people perpetually, no matter what they get, no matter the job, the spouse, they're always unhappy because they are always chasing the next thing versus enjoying from A to B. And I don't know about you. Have you seen recently? I've seen quite a few like really small YouTube people pop up and they're solely focusing on I got to do XYZ to lose this much weight. I see that and it one reminds me of myself back, but also it breaks my heart because it's like, man, that is the reason I failed every single other diet. above and beyond the benefits of carnivore is because I solely focused on that destination.
I would agree. The most successful weight loss time I've had before is when I wasn't focused on weight at all, when I was focused on just getting healthier. So yeah, I think there's something in that definitely. So what do you want to say to someone watching who's suffering with like diabetes, obesity, maybe mental health issues?
Try not to cry. You sitting in your chair right there, it is so hard to imagine being in such a dark place that life can be different. The depression is all consuming. You feel like you're in the dark underworld and there is no light in existence, but there is. It is day to day experiences making these small, itty bitty changes that change our trajectory and our path. You might not be able to see what 6 months looks like from now or the possibility that life can be different. But 6 months ago, I was having to use a walker. I am 33 to 6 months later now. I am walking 2 miles every single day with my dogs. I literally, it saved my life. And even though you might not be able to see your next step, just taking a step away from the direction you're heading will make a huge difference.
Yeah. Now you made me a bit teary as well.
I get
That's
very
really good
emotional when I talk
advice.
about those kinds of things.
I think, yeah, I agree. Just taking the step, even doesn't matter how
Mhm.
small it is really important.
I've always pondered on how do people become, you know, so malevolent, so evil, and it's not like they were born that way. And just, I thought about it long and hard and I realized it's one step at a time. They take one tiny step and then another tiny step, and then all those steps add up. And then I'm like, well,
Mm.
that has to do with me and my weight. I didn't, wasn't born 360 pounds at my highest weight. It was one little step at a time that just led there.
Yeah, that's a really clear way of thinking about it. Everything builds up. Nothing just happens overnight, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Amanda, what's the best way people can get in contact with you?
The best way is you can come visit me at my Carnivorous Me YouTube, or I have a website, blog, www.carnivorousme.com. We also have some links in there to join our Discord community, and people can reach out that way.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to
Thank you
following you on
for
Carnivorous
having me.
Me.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Che-
Dave.
Cheers. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.